Very good. Let's start with the discussion of what is living in the new paradigm and what does that mean, living in the new paradigm. We've all been hearing about 2012 now for years. We've all been hearing everything from disasters to leaving your body and floating up into the ethers. I mean, all kinds of different things. And now that it's here, I think it's very fair to say that what is happening is it's more of on a consciousness level, which is why it's so perfect for this particular talk today. It's about our consciousness. Our consciousness is changing. What is old and outworn and worn out or whatever, it's no longer working for us. We see it happening with the Occupy movement. We see it happening with the consciousness movement, the New Age movement, whatever you want to call it, the activists, light workers, starseed. So much is going on around the world right now. And this all keys into the work that we have all been doing now for several years, if not decades. Several decades is actually more appropriate for me to say. But I chose the title today, Living in the New Paradigm, because I myself have done everything I can over the last several years to literally immerse myself into what I would consider the new paradigm. And I'm not talking about the shift, which is what we're going through right now. Let me clarify. This is a shifting period right now, building up to this new paradigm. We're going to have little layers of the new paradigm come into our daily lives, throughout the months, years, decades, whatnot. This is not going to happen in 1 year. But when I'm talking about the new paradigm, I'm talking about the end result. I've been very blessed to be able to have had visions of what it's going to be like. I've been in contact with ethereal beings that have basically literally shown me what the new paradigm is. And what I did was I immersed myself in trying to in attempting, I should say, because I am doing much of it myself already, but in utilizing the idea of what that new paradigm is. And some of those things include, the economy, the way we see our media, the way we look at our health, the people that we choose to surround ourselves with, family, friends, peers, whatnot, our work situation, the way that we live in our homes, our lifestyle. All of these things are a part of the new paradigm. I gotta say it again. This is not about a fluffy, airy utopia. It's not. We are still human beings, and when we talk about the split, and you hear many of us in the consciousness movement talking about the split happening in 2012, from 3D to 5D. We can call it, many different things, but that's one of the main ones we hear. For me, as an individual, and the way that I've been experiencing this, it has been, again, of consciousness and of intuition, of psychic ability, of lifestyle choices. All of these things play a part in this shift and this split that we talk about. So the first thing that I would like to get into and cover as far as this new paradigm is the one that really has been the hardest for me and probably for many of us out there. Let me start off by saying, well, it's the economy, or our economy, and how do we utilize the monetary system. We all know now everyone has been educated, or not everyone, but let's say many of us have been educated to the understanding of how the global monetary system works. We understand it's a banking cartel. We understand that. Now we understand what central banking is. We understand what the Federal Reserve is and, national Federal Reserves in any country and whatnot. And no, we don't like it. I don't like it. I'm sure you don't like it. We don't like the idea of somebody controlling and manipulating the monetary system. However, we haven't caught up enough to change it. And what I mean by that is we have gone to the point of, yes, we are aware of it. Many of us are educating each other and are self-educating as to the paradigm of the current monetary system. But the education, the understanding, and not wanting it doesn't stop that bill from coming in, doesn't stop your landlord asking for rent. It doesn't stop you having to pay for your food, for those of you that don't grow your own food, or to buy clothes or buy furniture, or, the day-to-day, all day long things that we all really must do to survive. And one thing I will say that has helped me immensely is the philosophy of always having enough. May I always have enough. Not living in want, but literally just motivated by my daily needs. Versus, sure, I would want to take a cruise around the world. Who wouldn't? But I'm not going to save money to spend on that. I don't need it. My needs are very simple, and I've simplified them over the years. For those of us who are coming new to this or starting to be aware of the economic situation, one of the greatest tools that we have, and for lack of a better term, bringing down the financial system, is not participating in it. And the only way to not participate in it is not to spend your money on, where the corporations are going to profit, or the larger corporations are going to profit. Buying local is a great way to start. Going to thrift stores and finding clothes or furniture, things like that. Not perpetuating the consumer consciousness that we've all been trained to do over the last 50, 100 years. So that is the first tool that we have. And as a tool, we begin to learn to live this way. And I think that's one of the most important things that I have learned over the last several years, is that, I can live in a very, with a very small, how do we call it? A very small, I was going to say small income, but I meant, I'm trying to think of, the ability to spend money freely. I can't think of the word. Expendable income. Hello. I've learned that I can live with a very small, expendable income, but I don't need to live in squalor. I mean, someone had said to me, and for those of you that are watching on video can see, I have a fashionable home. I mean, granted, the whole house only costs $2,000 to furnish, but I still have a fashionable home. There's no reason to live in muck and dirt and broken things and things like that. I mean, you can still live, comfortably on without having an expendable income. There's nothing wrong with, buying cheap, at this point. Now, I'm going to get into the whole Walmart Target idea right in just a minute. And we're going to get into that actually when we get into reincarnation as well. But the whole idea that, we have to suffer. I did it for years. And when I mean years, I mean since the day I had my awakening. My awakening was back in 1992. And I thought I had to live like a monk. And don't get me wrong, for years I made lots and lots of money. I lived very comfortably, and, I lived the Miami Beach lifestyle with limousines and champagne and all that stuff. And I was still broke because I spent all my money on limousines and champagne. But, but there's a good example of wants versus needs. I wanted to live the high life back then, but it was a part of the fashion industry, and that's where I come from. But the reality of it is that I really felt I didn't deserve to be comfortable. As my awakening ingrained itself in my body, in my spirit, in my energy, it was just like, oh no, that's wrong. You can't spend money on that. Oh, you can't have a car. You can't have car insurance. You can't have health insurance. That's a luxury item. And for people that don't have money, health insurance and a car is a luxury item. But the point that I'm trying to make as far as this economy and the new way of thinking for the new paradigm is that we can still be comfortable. And we posted a blog yesterday, and it happens to be friends of mine that are a family that were featured about learning to live without. And they live brilliantly. We talk about, they talk about bartering. They talk about coming up with new creative ideas to generate income. And for me, that's what's happened to me over the last several weeks with the GIC. is that, we don't have to do the 9 to 5 job if you don't want to, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. But you can become creative in the way you generate income, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, as long as you're not hurting the planet, you're not hurting other people, you're not taking from those that, are doing without. There are ways to generate income creatively. And I think that's one of the things that I've had to learn over the last several days. And quite honestly, I just learned it maybe 2 or 3 days ago, which made me comfortable with changing the way the GIC is running. However, we have to look at the way we generate income as the new paradigm. Am I generating income from working at McDonald's, which is where I almost had to do. However, are we generating income by working for a collection agency? Are we generating income working for Bank of America? Are we generating income by working at Walmart? I mean, these are the ethical questions we want to ask ourselves. And in the new paradigm, there is no room for that. I'm sorry. That's the reality of it. There is no room for it. We have got to learn to become creative in the way that we generate our income. Right now, we live in a 4D world, and we still need to pay our bills. We still need to feed ourselves, unless you're living off the grid and have a full, electrical generator, solar powered generator with your own garden, you're still going to need to pay the electric company. You're still going to need to go to the grocery store. So if we are going to live in this in-between time, which is basically what I call it, the shift, you're living in the shift right now, we have to be more creative in the way that we generate income. Somebody had posted the other day on the GIC wall, and when I announced that, now I got to think of this as a business. And he said something brilliantly, and I can't remember his name, forgive me if you're watching. But he said, he goes, maybe this is a part of the new paradigm in being creative in the way that we create a new economy. Money is not evil. It's the monetary system and the ones who run it that are evil. Money itself is not evil, and it's an exchange of energy. If I give something and you enjoy it, please exchange the energy back in one way or another. Exactly. And so it's about thinking that way. We have to start thinking out of the box when it comes to the economy. And we have to start being okay with the fact that, we still have bills. It doesn't make us evil. We didn't create this paradigm. Maybe our past life did or whatever, but we didn't create this paradigm. The other thing I wanted to touch on, and, because I am very adamant against supporting certain businesses. I'm very adamant against supporting Walmart. I'm very adamant against supporting, the mass marketing of chickens, these kind of things, but that's a political statement. And right now, unfortunately, that is a part of our paradigm. I can't buy a $100 couch anywhere except for Walmart. I can't buy cheap, I don't want to say cheap, but inexpensive meat because I don't have the money to start raising my own and slaughtering them myself. Yes, I am a meat eater, sorry. But and this goes on to the whole idea of that we have to remember that we've been thrown into this paradigm at this time for a reason, and we're here to create the change. We're not here to force it. We're not here to yank it out of the birth canal because it is a process. So right now, yes, there are millions of people working for Walmart around the world that are probably getting a less than fair wage. Yes, a lot of the stuff can be toxic. Of course, stay away from toxins. We'll get into that with lifestyle. But I want to point out that we have to understand that also that person who works at Walmart is a part of the shift. And they were incarnated here at this time to become the issue. To become the issue for us to be outraged. For us to say, no more, we will not have this anymore. These poor people are making $1 a day. If they weren't here, we wouldn't have this issue. So they chose to be here at this time as well. The same thing goes with food and the mass marketing of food. We posted a video recently about 3 weeks ago from Abraham Hicks. And she said, oh, stop worrying. That chicken knew it was coming here to be slaughtered. You know, that cow knew it was coming here to be slaughtered. It's a part of the process. And yes, if it creates outrage in you and makes you want to create change, then apparently their incarnation is not going for nothing. They incarnated here for a reason, and you picked up on that reason, and you're carrying the torch. Great. You know, so let's be a little bit less volatile with each other. And the reason that's why I bring it up, this is a part of the new paradigm. The part of the new paradigm is not being so snitty with each other, not being so disrespectful of each other's choices. We can't force people to only shop local. We can't force people not to shop at Walmart. We can't force people not to be vegan or to be vegan. You know, these are personal choices that happen on their own time. So we can, again, it's like yanking a baby out of the birth canal before it's ready to come out. Give them compassion, give them respect. You don't have to do what they do. You know, we all have our way of awakening. We all have our way of surviving during the shift, because it's a hard one. It's going to be a very hard shift. And compassion has to be key, especially in economics. When I first started the GIC, we spoke about compassionate capitalism. And if you remember the pledge, it says we won't support people that are against our particular thoughts or ideas. And again, you don't need to support Walmart. You don't need to support 7-Eleven or any of these stores by all means. But don't knock the people that do. I think it's very exclusive to think like that. Absolutely, absolutely. We are all growing at our own rate, and we need to really think about the way that other people see these things. So, you know, that's the economy. Again, well, let me end up this segment here, because we've only got a couple minutes left in this segment. Let me end up this segment by saying, with economy, and we're talking now people that are teaching us to live in this new paradigm. We have people like myself, people like Miriam Delicato, people like Roxy Lopez that work with us. All of these people who have dedicated their lives to doing this, including myself. And to be offended if we sell a book for $10 or we sell a DVD for $20, that's not good. You cannot be offended. You want to support this type of economy. That's the whole idea. I'm not going to go pay, you know, I'm not going to spend $60 to buy the DVD set of The New Secret, which, don't even get me started on that. But it was good for its time, but I'm sorry, it really has become a very greedy project. However, you know, we want to support the individual, independent media, the alternative media. We want to support people like Miriam or myself, you know. So I am going to be selling a DVD for $20. Would you rather give me the $20, or would you rather go and spend it to buy the new Superman DVD and give it to Warner Brothers? I mean, this is the way we need to really start realizing and start being more conscious. Again, consciousness, awareness. What am I supporting? What energy? I spent, you know, let's say the average person makes $10 an hour. I spent 2 hours to make this money of my energy. And where am I going to give this $20? Am I going to give it to Warner Brothers and buy a DVD from them, or am I going to give it to Miriam or Bernard? You know, so these are the things we need to start thinking about.